Yep, apparently it's Sunday again, huh? You know that when you see my freaking face in your computer or telephone or whatever you're using. Welcome again, Alberto Iglesias, Drumsticks Sunday channel, a different pair of drumsticks every week. And well, you know, I don't usually try to do auto-promotion here, but just I hope you allow me to do just a little bit of marketing here, because my band, 14 strings is the translation, it's 14 cuerdas in Spanish. Well, tomorrow it's the band, it's a swing band, jazz, all that. And tomorrow, Monday, we're going to put a surprise in our social networks, so you can search for us in Facebook or Instagram. And tomorrow we have a surprise. I hope you like it. I hope you can have a look. Let me know what you think about it, okay? If you can. And that's enough. That's all I want to say. I'm super excited, so I have to share this with everybody. Okay, let's talk about drumsticks. Okay. Past week I told you that I was going to talk, or I was going to use this week the Wincent 55F model, just this one. Okay, first of all, this is not. I don't want today. I don't want to talk just about the drumstick, to say, oh, it had this and this and all that. Mainly because it's just this is the standard solution for Wincent of a drumstick that has a grip between 5A and 5B, just in the middle. Okay, so it's his version. As you know, all companies have a version that has this. So it's just exactly the same as a 5A or 5B, but with the grip in the middle. Okay, so it's all I have to say. I've been talking about Wincent many times, so you know what I think about it, and it's just the same version but with that grip. What I want to talk today is something that I think it's more interesting even, because it's a way to apply it. Well, the main purpose of this channel is to learn about drumsticks, as you know, but also to be able to apply that knowledge to when we want to change something in our drumsticks, okay? Or in our player, the way we play. Maybe sometimes we decide to change the snare, or I don't know how we position something. Or okay, but we have to put into consideration this too, because drumstick is the only tool we have to play drums. It's how we play it. It's how we contact the drums. So okay, my intention is to give you tools to be able to to point where you want to go. So it's easier for you to change something or to get a different result or something like that. Okay. Well, so I want to talk about my personal experience with this. Okay, because there was time that maybe we have some signature models that I was trying for the channel, and they were all with this grip diameter, okay, with this size. And I started to realize that this is a size that really suits me really well. I feel comfortable with it. It's kind of a standard size for me. It's kind of a standard diameter that feel comfortable for me. So I decided, as you know, I've told you this many times. I was using Wincent. At that point I was using 5A. So I decided to change to 5A, to 55F. It feels good. It's okay. Well, lately I've been trying different drumsticks, as you know, with longer taper, with small round tips and all that. Well, at the same time, I'm currently studying or practicing with that kind of styles, more the kind of maybe fast styles or something like that, where you have to sometimes play 16 on the hi-hat, or make rolls and all that, and make funky fusion, all that styles, when you need to be, sometimes you need to be faster, okay? Well, at that point, I realized that these drumsticks, okay, when I changed, I was using during the whole week, I don't know, some model that has long taper, small tip and all that. it feels really well when I studied. It suits, you know, I get the response that I need. It's super fast and all that. Okay, then when I take this one, I realize that it feels so, it's heavier, it's slower, all that. It doesn't feel good when I start playing. It didn't feel good at that point. So okay, I start thinking, woof, maybe this is not the right drumstick for me now. Okay, if I suppose that many of you in that situation would decide, okay, I'm gonna change my drumsticks, and maybe you go and take I don't know, another pair or a pair from other company and all that. Well, what I want to do is, let's see if everything we are learning here helps me to move in a specific direction, trying to find what I'm looking for, not just changing for, you know, to change. It's just change something because you want to get a result. I hope you understand what I mean. I think for me it's more important that because of course it's great if you can know every drumstick, the shape, the weight, all that stuff. But at the same time, for me it's more important that we learn all that information, learn how we can apply all that information when we need that information to change something, okay? So that was my situation at that point, my real situation, okay? I was using this and I start thinking, okay, this is not working for me now. So I start analyzing the situation, analyzing the drumstick, and I realized, okay, I love the diameter, I love the grip, as you know, I like the wax, I love the grip. It's not a sound problem, it's only a rebound problem. So, because we've been studying this a lot, we know that the two main things that affect the rebound are the taper and the tip, okay? Two main influences on a drumstick. For the experience that we have testing other drumsticks. So I thought, okay, let's see if they have another model with this configuration, but with a longer taper. They don't have that. Okay, so let's try if they have a model with a different tip, a smaller tip, and they have that. As you know, I mentioned that in the past. They have the round tip model, which is 55F with round tip, okay? And I gave this a try. Oh my God, it just worked immediately. It's just what I was looking for. So much faster, better rebound, better response. Not better, it just fits better in what I was looking for. So it solved my problem immediately. It's just instant solution, okay? But what I want to point in this case is that after realizing that, I start, because I'm in just kind of freaking, you know, freak mode or jig mode of drumstick mode, no? Okay, I thought, okay, why is this happening? Let's have a look at both drumsticks. And when I compare both, I realized that it's just not the tip what they have been changing here. If you put if you compare both drumsticks, the main thing I realized is that it's not just the tip, it's the taper. It's also different. This model has a longer taper. The neck is thinner than this one. So when you think of the same model in round tip, you think, okay, it's exactly the same. They just changed this tip. They cut the tip and put a round one. Okay, not true. Okay. In this case, you can see it. And if you remember, I had the same situation with the 7A versions. They had the 7A XL that you assume, okay, it's just a 7A, but it's longer. No, they also changed the taper, the tip. They have other differences. So in this case, when I compare both drumsticks, I realized that again. So I was getting the response I was looking for, but not just because of the tip. It's just the whole drumstick response has been adapted. Okay, now I'm guessing here. I'm not sure of this. I'm gonna try to clarify this with Jose Antonio from Nivel Drums in the Downtown Drum Fest. I hope you're going and we can talk about this. But I'm assuming here what's happening here, in my opinion, is that okay, when you design a drumstick of any kind, you have this design, for example, from Wincent, and okay, they have this length, they have this grid, they have everything, this tip, this, okay, it's designed to get a great response for them, okay, an appropriate response for a drumstick, okay, that's what they are looking for, of course. Okay, if you change something in by your own, imagine you just save this or cut this and put a round tip in front, okay, it's not, I mean, the response of the drumstick is gonna change because the design was made for all parts of the design, not just for one part. So if you change something without paying attention to the rest of the drumstick, the balance of the drumstick is probably gonna break, okay? So what's happening here is that when they decide to put a round tip on this drumstick, okay, they take the round tip and then start trying again to get a good response from this drumstick with the new tip, okay? So in this case, something that they have been changing is the taper. So in the end, what you want is to have a drumstick that gives you an appropriate response, a good rebound and all that, okay? So that's what I thought. I think that's what's happening here and in general, okay? You can change something and don't expect that or expect that it's not gonna affect the other parts of the drumstick, okay? In this case, for me, this was perfect, okay? This is just what I was looking for. So now I have these two options, a more powerful, or with a drumstick with more power, more weight here, more tip, bigger tip, gives you more volume, great for rock and pop and all that. With this, I have the same grip and wax that I want, but it's more. I get a faster or with a drumstick with faster rebound, more appropriate for a different style that I was playing now. Okay, and because of all these tests, I decided, okay, I realized that they also have the maple version of the round tip, okay? Sorry. But okay, I'll give a try. I decided to give a try to this version too. What happens is, just in this case, it's exactly the same shape. I think it makes sense because in this case you just want to change the material, okay, the wood. So it's just the same version but with maple. So as you know, it's lighter, it's super fast, okay, it's great to play with this. At the same time, as you know, you sacrifice a little bit of volume, but it gives you that kind of sound of maple, especially with cymbals, with this kind of darker, sweeter sound. I think it's not only I'm not sure of this, but I think it's not only the weight, it's maybe because the wood it's softer, so it kind of reacts different, I think, with the surface. So the cymbal sometimes it's sweeter, you get a sweeter sound, I think, which I love in some situations. So as you can see, now I have three options. These are kind of the extreme options. You have more power and more open sound, more, go for it and all that. And this is more light sound, super fast, more sweet sound and all that. And then I have this that is kind of in the middle, okay? So you can play with all this and use each one on each situation. So you have more options, more tools in your pocket, okay? I hope you understand what I mean. And I thought that that's why I decided to talk about this week, because sometimes you can lose, or you can't you don't realize that the purpose of this project sometimes. Okay, it's not just knowing different models of drumsticks. It's learning about the drumsticks in general and how they behave and how each part affects to the sound, to the rebound, to all that. So with all that information, you can use that information in your benefit. Okay, you can use that to help to get a drumstick that play with you, that helps you to play. Okay, so I hope you like it. It's my I'm not lying here. It's just my personal case. It's completely real, and that's what I've been doing. And I hope you like it, and I hope it helps you. Okay. So for the next week, I'm going to continue the series I started about special grips and all that. So in this case, I'm gonna give a try to the Big Firth American Classic 5A big grip, okay, which is kind of the same idea of the Cillian deep version, but this case is from Big Firth. It's just, I think it's the same idea, but different material, different option. I don't know. Let's give it a try and see if it's I have the same response of the Cillian. As you know, I'm not a huge fan, let's say like that. But let's see what happens with this other option, okay? And I'll let you know in a week. Okay, so 2 things we have to learn this week, okay? First, when you want to change something, select first what you want to change. Try to use, don't change just, I don't know, because you want to change. Just try to decide what you want to change. Analyze your situation, analyze your drumstick. Try to find what you need to change to get the results you need, okay? And second thing is, when you see a model that it's the same model with a different variation, sometimes it's not just that variation. Sometimes the whole drumstick has to change. At least with Wincent, as you know, it's been twice now that happens to me. But I suppose that it's something that happens to all companies. It makes sense for me. It makes sense to me. Sorry, it makes sense that if you change something, you have to adapt sometimes at least. You have to adapt other things because the balance is gonna break. Okay, so nothing else. Just keep practicing, keep drumming, and see you in 7 days. Okay, goodbye.